We're back, and thank you all for joining. And as you're joining, just let us know where you're joining from. We're talking about virtual networking, and we were just answering a question about gaps to avoid. So I got another question about venues for networking. Since we're living in a virtual age and we're building connections virtually from now until the foreseeable future, until we have a vaccine that can slowly get us back into in-person events, I'll talk about some of the places and the great places for you to find out about networking events that are happening virtually. And one of them is LinkedIn. Like LinkedIn is I'm the poster child for LinkedIn as to your first stop of where to go to meet people, to connect with people. And they have so many events. Like there's an events page on LinkedIn that you can check out events that are interesting to you, that are within your industry. If you're looking for potential clients, or if you're looking for potential team members, or for potential recruiters, LinkedIn is a great place for you to find events. And then another place is Facebook. If you're on Facebook, Facebook has their event page. Facebook has a lot of Facebook groups. They run from hobbies to interests to professional groups. But if you're looking for more professional industry groups, LinkedIn is a great place. And then another place that you can go to find events is Eventbrite. Eventbrite is one of the most common apps that all companies use, from small to large sizes, to advertise their conferences, their webinars, and any of the events. And you can search by the topic, you can search by free, if you're on a budget, you can search by paid apps. And Eventbrite is like a plethora of events that you can find on Eventbrite. So a lot of people are not sure where to look. Always start with what you know. Always start with people that you're going to an event. If you're new to Canada, you don't want to jump right into your professional events. You want to warm up to this virtual networking is a new way of doing things, and figuring out how am I going to meet people and how am I going to connect with people. If I attend the Adobe Summit, you go to this large scale networking event, which is so difficult for you to actually meet people one-on-one. So you want to start with a smaller event. Filter for your province, filter for your town, filter for your city. Before you start with a local community, and then you start to grow to your wider Canada-wide. Because now, if you're looking for a job, if you're looking to start a business, it's so much easier to connect with people from all over Canada, and there's so many remote work opportunities that are out there. So here are some of the places that you can look for networking. Thanks, Ursula GRR, for that question. Do we have any other questions from the audience about your virtual networking and how to grow and make meaningful connections as a newcomer to Canada, or even in the USA if you want to grow your connections? Because one of the things that is a big myth is that the job application process is objective and fair. Research and statistics have shown that 80% of people, when you ask them, professionals, how did you get your job? Most of them will tell you that they got the job through networking. That's sometimes even some other reports or articles even say 90%. So 90% of people are getting their jobs through networking. They're getting their jobs through people that are somehow connected in their circle. And there's all these tools out there available for you to meet people and connect with people. Why don't you take advantage of that rather than, as being new, not knowing people, and really struggling to make it? You can meet people, you can meet your tribe, you can meet your people that you really connect with, and on so many different levels. And another one that I forgot to mention is Meetup. Meetup is also another great app for meeting people. I joined Meetup, and I'm a part of so many different Meetup groups, and you can find basically anything that you're interested in, that you can start with a group of people that you can easily connect with and that you're interested in. And one of the great things about some of these events is that sometimes people will recommend, why don't we form a Slack group, or why don't we form a WhatsApp group, And then that's when you can really take the conversation further, because we're missing out on these in-person events where we can meet and exchange business card or exchange LinkedIn connections. So virtual events, sometimes you can actually be the person to make that recommendation that I had a wonderful time here. It's like, is there a way for us to connect after this call? Like, I've seen some really bold and confident people make those requests in these virtual events to say, hey, I want to know how can we all connect after this, because it's difficult for us to exchange emails and contact information. So how do we connect after this? Let me put a Slack link in here. Let me invite you all to a WhatsApp group. Be that person. If you're really interested in forming a group outside of the event, you can also take that initiative as well. And you can also form your own meetup group as well. There's no shortage of meetup groups, and they encourage you to form a meetup group. And you can also start doing your own events as well. So let's check the questions for another question. This is one of the big ones. How do I maintain my connections? So your connections is the first step. Make the connection. The first step, you connect with someone. You guys are connected on LinkedIn, or you connect in some way or some form, and then you leave it at that. And in the virtual space, it's more difficult to keep that connection going. And you want to recommend these virtual games. There are these virtual trivias that people are now hosting. People are hosting virtual parties. People are hosting so many different virtual apps, and things are springing up. So if you want to recommend something fun, you can say, hey, why don't we do this virtual, whatever it is. And so that's one way to do it. And another thing that I do is, since I'm an analyst and I'm an Excel person, I can sometimes put a spreadsheet together. If there's a goal to my networking and there's a goal to my connection building, and I want to make sure that I keep in touch with these people, I put in Excel the people that I want to keep in touch with. I put a note about what's important about them, or I put it in my note app and just write some notes, highlight some people that I want to make sure that I keep in touch with them. You can put some calendar invites to be like, remember to follow up with this person, or we talked about this, because it's not everything that you're going to remember. So I take notes, I write notes, and I store notes about the different people that I meet and different reasons that I want to follow up with them. And people have so many different systems. People have like a symbol system for why they want to follow up with someone. They have like a C for career, a B for potential business partner, or you have an F for friend. Make notes and use your note apps to remind you of the people that you really want to follow up with. Write their emails down, because in these virtual settings, it's getting harder to exchange emails and exchange business cards where you can remember and write something on the business card. Take notes as you meet people, and then set reminders for yourself to follow up with them, to get back in touch with them, and it's something that's how you keep the connection warm, is how you keep the connection going. You can follow up with them monthly. You can follow up with them like every 2 months. And then if you're connected with them on LinkedIn, genuinely, if they follow them, comment on their posts, if you find it interesting, share articles with them. LinkedIn has, Facebook has, this is the person's birthday, wish them a happy birthday if they've been promoted. You say congratulations on your promotion if they change jobs. These are the things that, LinkedIn is making it easier for you to not remember so many details. It's like, this is something that the person sees that, okay, you genuinely want to keep this relationship going. And so you're going outside of an ask. You're going outside of, I need something from this person. You're just keeping that connection going. And you want to establish, a genuine connection outside of the job or outside of the business agreement. You want to start to get to know, where they like to eat, their favorite restaurants, what they like to do, simple things that you can find out and remember about them. And so you keep your notes, and then you set up your reminders to follow up with them, and then you follow up with them also on LinkedIn. So I see a few more people joining. Thanks for joining. Instagram kicked us off, but we're back. So we just have a few more minutes. If anyone else has any questions about virtual networking, you can ask now. And I'm just going to give a little spiel about me and where you can find out more information about me. My name is Adivia. I'm originally from Ghana. I moved to Canada over 5 years ago. I worked at a large telecom company, and I now work at a retail company, and I have been career mentoring for over a decade, and I really enjoy doing this. So I have a Start, Grow, Pivot YouTube channel where I go into in-depth topics about networking, about best practices of networking. I also have a blog that you can search for at www.startgrowpivot.com. And if you are someone who's interested in having more deeper one-on-one sessions with me, you can also go on my Instagram, follow me on Instagram. You can go to my link in the bio and book some one-on-one time with me, and then we can collaborate and see how you network, what's your elevator pitch, and where you need help with. So those are some things about me. And it looks like we don't have any more questions coming up from everyone. Thank you so much for joining and rejoining. When it cut, I was like, oh no, but you all rejoined, and I'm so glad to see you here. So glad for you to stick with me. And so you can DM me if you have any questions. We do this, and we try to do this every 2 weeks. So we'll be back again in December. We'll definitely give the holiday December month off, and then we'll continue again in the new year. And we really hope and looking forward to having more of these in-person meetings and any questions that you might have. So thanks again. Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Bye. Thanks again.